Hi, I'm John Munoz, and welcome to the Business Networking Channel hosted by the Hispano Chamber of Commerce de las Cruces. With me in studio is the infamous, the handsome and debonair Toby Rube.
That's not infamy, it's famous.
Oh, okay, famous. Sorry about that. Well, Toby, we have a great show and a great guest with us who's been really, literally all over the world and has come back to Las Cruces and has made a tremendous impact.
Well, she has made an impact all over the world.
Right. Well, I would say that as well.
She's one of those ladies, in true fashion of all the ladies that we've had on our show, who, when they come into the room, it lights up, and when they make a decision to do something, things happen.
She's a mover and shaker.
Mover and shaker.
But before we get to her, let's figure out what's going on with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce this week.
Thank you. Now, with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, I want to let you all know that we are started the new year. We're almost in the end of the first quarter, and we are 100% moving at full throttle. I mean, things are happening. Our new office location at 1990 Atrium Suites across from Arroyo Plaza on Loman is continuing to be filled with people coming in, inquiring about the things we're doing. And John, you know, the March was such I think, a pinnacle point for the Hispano Chamber. Mm-hmm. And one of those most important things happened was the Foreign Affairs Investment Trade Mission that we held on the 18th.
Right.
You know, it put a lot of work. Our new board member, Peter Ibato, who is the chair of that group, did a fantastic job of bringing these partners together and hosting this event, and it was amazing. You know, the feedback that we get from that was it is going to be potentially an annual event.
I think so. There's a huge need, and when you talk about investors and jobs coming into Las Cruces, and we host an event like that, definitely it's meeting the needs of our community. And
you know, it spreads the word. It spreads the word that Las Cruces is the place to be. We are ready, we're able, and we're willing. The other thing we are doing, it's dear to my heart and yours too, as you know, we have our third quarterly middle school recognition program early in the month, and another great turnout. Had a great speaker. Things were done very well. We had just phenomenal turnout.
You know, you, Jesus, and your committee do an outstanding job with that. It is a fantastic.
You know, we focus on those kids, and a lot of people forget, John, and you and I try to pull this to our audience all the time. It is the kids that are the future workforce. Mm-hmm. They are our future. It's not just a saying, it's a fact. I mean, you employ a lot of people at your job, and we're looking around, and we meet these business owners, and we're saying, where's our talent coming from? Right. And so I think the middle school recognition program really gets out to the point to help motivate those kids in middle school that there is something out there for them. And we partner with Doniana Community College. Dr. Margie Huerta has been a long-standing partner and supporter of this, and it's been a fantastic event.
And you know, we want to continue that as well, Toby. I mean, you know, again, I want to get to my story. You know, you kind of laugh, but I was an at-risk student. I was an at-risk kid.
You were at risk of getting lost.
And I still have that risk. You know? That's why I use a GPS in Las Cruces. But seriously, when you think about it, you know, if someone hadn't taken the time to impact my life and set me in the right direction, who knows what would have happened? You know, I had no idea I'd end up here.
Sure. So well, and you know, there's so many stories like that. There's those that have the challenge, and then there are the ones that are right on the track. Right. And the opportunities for everyone. Right. And ladies and gentlemen, we also have our Southwest Senior Life Spa. We had Keith Wepley here a while back. Yes. Turned out to be a great event. We had a lot of people show up.
Lots of people.
Really good. It was great.
And did you see all those cars and RVs? Yeah. I'm going to get myself an RV.
You know, Lucius Spa had those cars out there in the RV, and I think we can take those RVs on a tour one of these days. Can you see us?
Can you do that?
We'll take the show on the road.
We'll do Thelma and Louise, the Business Networking Channel.
Oh, Dukes of Hazzard, Judy Bode.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that's better.
So, and then we ended up with the Mix and Mingle at Upland Damos. We had a good turnout there. It looked like it was a good time. So we had a lot of things happen in March. We want to continue to focus on our members. And if you're not a member yet, just give us a call at the Chamber office, and I guarantee we can get you set up, and you can be a part of this great organization. And that covers March. Well, what's going to the rest of the year going to be like?
Man.
I'm tired already.
We're busy campers, weren't we?
But now let's get to the person.
Absolutely.
Wonder Woman, maybe?
Probably,
She has the bracelets.
Yes, she does.
Displaying these things. Yes. And they're green.
Okay, very green.
So, can we get any closer to our special guest, Elisa Cundiff. Hi, Elisa.
Hi, thanks so much for that incredible intro.
Well,
that was neat.
You've done, you know, actually, it's very well deserved. You and your organization, you know, you all have been a very important voice for our community, for the business sector, and for folks who are concerned about our environment. You know, we have resources, but they're limited. We have natural resources that we need to protect, and that just kind of adds value. Now, it's not the magic bullet. It's not going to always create, you know, thousands of jobs. You know, they can't be like Toby Rue, you know, just when he walks into a room and, you know, hey, there's a job right there. You know, his wife says it's a full-time job.
Well, she's probably right. Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? So, so that's very much appreciated. So I have a very serious question for you.
Sure.
Listen, you're with the Green Chamber, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Is everyone green in that chamber? No, don't answer that. See, the reason I asked that, Toby, is because sometimes we get that question with the Hispano Chamber cover.
Oh, that's right.
Is John, I'd like to join, but I'm not Hispanic.
That's right.
I don't speak Spanish. And you know what? It's inclusive. You know, one of the things that we...
He's having a little fun with
I'm
you.
having a little fun with you. I was just messing with
So
you.
is everyone an alien?
Yeah.
What are you asking?
With it, Roswell, you know, these
Not
Yeah.
from Roswell.
Not from
Mars.
Mars, not
Las
green with
Cruces,
Indy.
yeah.
You know, but you know, again, you know, the Hispano Chamber has a specific mission, and obviously our doors are open to all, and we really have a very diversified board, diversified membership, and you know, I'm assuming that it's the same for you, but you know, the mission's pretty clear, and people have joined that organization. You've done well for being a new organization. You have really had a good clip as far as membership.
And before we get on to, I want to jump into that, Elisa. The question that I was going to ask, and John kind of alluded to that, is why the Green Chamber? But most importantly, I think we need to make sure our audience understands Las Cruces is growing. And I think that this was the right time to have these type of synergies come together. So would you take us back to a little bit of history of you, and then get us to where you are today as the executive director of the Green Chamber of Las Cruces?
Sure. Well, I was born at Memorial Medical Center in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Going way back.
that's way back.
So I'm a native. I'm from here. This is definitely my home. And I went to Mayfield High School and then attended a United World College, which is a school in Hong Kong, for 2 years. And then from there went to New York University for 4 years.
NYU.
Yeah, NYU. It's a very expensive school, and I'll be paying it off for a long time. And then from there, I worked for a strategic communications firm in New York, and we worked on a lot of .com stuff, a lot of startups, and we ended up working on the Microsoft Yahoo debacle. It was when Microsoft tried to take over Yahoo, which was really dramatic and very interesting. And then I started working for a startup company in New York with friends from the school in Hong Kong, and we ended up selling that company to Lending Tree. And then I worked remotely for them from Las Cruces for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before I started working for the Green Chamber.
I told you she was smarter than you.
Well, I know that. You don't have to tell me that. I can just figure that out. Now, you
Thank
didn't
you.
talk about Afghanistan. Where was that in the picture?
So it's actually Pakistan, which is right next to
sorry.
Afghanistan. We were very close,
yes.
very close to the border at certain points. But that was this summer. I went there. It was supposed to be for 3 weeks. It ended up being about a month and a week because of the floods. And that was for a friend's wedding. One of the friends I went to school with in Hong Kong is from Pakistan. And it was nice because about 8 of my friends went as well. So it was a reunion and a wedding and a trip. And we flew to the northern area, which is in the mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous. And a day after we got in, it started raining and it just never stopped. And we ended up stuck in the northern territories. Northern areas are not actually territories. And we got airlifted out by a Pakistani military cargo plane.
Wow.
And I think that's the only time I'll ever be able to say that happened to me, but it was very fun.
You know, I think very few people will say that's very dramatic. So really,
Very
seriously,
dramatic.
we're so glad you're okay. I mean, because literally, you know, the water was flowing, it was raining, you know,
Yeah.
more
It was
than
a
cats
natural
and dogs.
disaster.
It was
Yeah.
a disaster.
It was a disaster,
And so
yeah.
the Pakistani military, you know, helped you out and really saved y'all's lives, got y'all out
We
of
got
there.
out easy. It was
I
that
feel a
country's
little. I
still
feel a little
reeling.
pressure here, John, and at least I'm just sorry. You know, John travels frequently to Italy,
No,
and
family
you
there.
travel now to Pakistan and different places, and you know, if I get past El Paso, Texas, I think I'm going to be okay. So I'm truly a world traveler right now, globetrotter with you two.
Oh, I think Alamogordo. That's
well,
the next summer
that might be
trip for you.
stretch, right?
Oh my
But let's get back to the reason why we're here. Obviously, you're very well educated. You have an enormous resume for travel and experiences. And I think you brought those experiences, and you'll tell us a little bit more. But why the Green Chamber? What was that attraction? Tell us about that.
Well, for me, I've always been, and I think it's also a generational thing. I think that you'll notice that most people in their 20s and 30s, and definitely it's growing. And
50s for Toby or 60s for Eric. And that's okay. He looks young.
I think that as you go down in generations, there's a larger percentage of people that are very concerned about how we move forward as businesses and as a population. And I think that when I met some of the steering committee members who were really excited about starting a Green Chamber, it really resonated with me. I worked for a company that was considered a double bottom line company, the one in New York, which was people and profit. And the Green Chamber pushes a triple bottom line philosophy, which is planet, people, profit. You know, you absolutely have the 3 Ps. You know the 3 Ps.
Bottom line. Yeah.
So you've got to, you absolutely, you can't be a sustainable company if you can't sustain your bottom line. You got to do that first, and then you've got to be responsible to your community and responsible to the environment in which you live. And I thought that was just such a beautiful concept, and I knew that there were other business people that that message would resonate with, and in fact, it did. And I think that there were a lot of companies that said that's exactly what we want to stand for, and I think that there was room for business voice for that. I think that actually a lot of times the Hispano Chamber is a voice for that, and I think that's why you guys have been such wonderful partners.
Right.
And I'd actually like to thank the Hispano Chamber. From day one, you guys have been so supportive of the Green Chamber and our efforts, so thank you very much.
No, it's our pleasure. You know, one of the things that comes out of this, and I like the way you try to set up the stage for demographics, because when you look at the age bands, you really think that there is a lost generation somewhere. And when you look across the board, I think in my business, I deal with a lot of people that are in their seniors or at least post-retirement, pre-retirement, and even retirement. And, I find that there is a resonance about doing things green now.
Yeah.
Even in the older population, the
Definitely,
baby boomer population, because they are the greatest generation is what they say, and they come in and they're trying to make some changes for the kids and the planet. But one of the things that I found unique for your particular organization when it started to come in through the media and the headlines was your board of directors. Now, John, you and I both know your board of directors is the pulse of any good nonprofit organization. You have a strong board, and they've come together to give you guidance and direction. Tell us a little bit about how that makeup came together.
It started out as a steering committee of about 10 people, and the ones that stuck around became the board, the ones that had time. Most of them actually don't have time, the ones that made time for it. And I think all of the current board members were part of the original steering committee, which we all had dinner once at Zephyros. And everyone got excited and they stuck with it. And our board president is Renee Frank, who is everywhere doing everything,
She's
as
awesome.
you know.
Awesome lady.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Very
Give a
impressive.
shout out to Renee. Buy a house from her.
Buy a house from Renee, or solar. She also sells solar. And she's got an incredible resume. She worked for White Sands. She's worked for hospitals. She's a green real estate agent. She's certified, and she knows her stuff. She makes sure she knows it, and she gets it done. And so she's a great leader.
Is she the board president?
She's the board president, yeah. And having her as a board president's been fantastic.
Well, definitely, she is a strong leader, and we want to talk more about some of the initiatives you're doing and some of the some other events that might be coming up and your board of directors. So we are talking with Elisa Cundiff from the Green Chamber of Commerce. We're going to take a break right now. Thank you for watching the Business Networking channel. We'll see you in a few seconds.